Namaste. Firstly, may we offer a prayer to the victims, their families, and anyone affected in the devastating fires in Taipo last week. We stand in solidarity with all those affected. On behalf of the Life Management Yoga Center, Hong Kong, my name is Ashish Ahuja, and I welcome you to this webinar celebrating Gita Jayanti, which is a day to commemorate the Bhagwad Gita. The Gita is not only a sacred scripture to Hindus, but it is also a philosophy of life, read and appreciated all over the world by many scholars and commentators. Let's begin by sitting comfortably. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. A gentle smile on your lips, a gentle smile on your cheeks. Feel the weight of yourself on your seat. Feel the weight of your feet on the floor. Rub your hands together. Place them over your eyes and open your eyes. The Bhagwad Gita is a samvad, the interaction between the princely warrior Arjuna as a disciple or inquirer and Lord Krishna as his guide. As portrayed in the Mahabharata, this dialogue took place in the midst of a great war at Kurukshetra some 5,000 years ago. Arjuna was in a dilemma whether to fight and kill his kinsmen, including his grandfather and his guru. To repel his doubts, Lord Krishna declared that the sole purpose of his advent on earth was to re-establish dharma, the righteous living, and to destroy those who lived in adharma. Peace should be our first choice, and we must be ready to sacrifice a great deal to avoid damaging wars. However, Krishna advocated to fight against injustice if it is taken to extreme levels. During the discussion, the confused inquirer went into details, asking questions as to how exactly to live life. The Life Management Yoga Center is honored to have lined up 3 eloquent speakers who are authorities in their own right to speak in detail about righteous living in the modern day and how to live a life of a householder yogi. Our first speaker is Dr. Hansaji Yogendra, who will speak on Jnana Yoga, which is knowledge. I'm sure you all know her. Nevertheless, allow me to tell you that she is the inspirational director of the Yoga Institute, Mumbai. Additionally, she is the president of the Indian Yoga Association and has authored numerous books and research papers on the subject. Today, she is the face of the Yoga Institute, which has millions of subscribers to their YouTube channel. Without further ado,
We are talking about Bhagwad Gita. Bhagwad Gita is like a textbook. This is such a book which guides you how to live your life. A very simple, anybody can read it, and people should read it again and again to understand and absorb its knowledge. Because Bhagwad Gita emphasizes 3 areas. One is knowledge, which I want to talk to you. Another, of course, is how you should do your actions. And third, bhakti, total surrender, acceptance and surrender to God. Now, today let's talk about the knowledge, because without knowledge, we can't be away from fear. For example, one day you vomited. Now, if you don't have little bit knowledge how your body functions and how vomit is useful for body doesn't want certain things, and so you throw it out. You will get afraid. You will get fearful. What happened? Knowledge is required for anything. For living life, knowledge is required. So the first lesson which Krishna gives to Arjun is that Arjun, you are crying for people whom you think you will kill. First of all, understand that any wise person will not think about either past or about future. You are supposed to stay in present condition, because present condition is in our hand, where we can do something. Past, how could you think about past? Of course, you have lived your past. Present is the result of past. But don't stay in past. Don't carry forward the past. Forget it, put it in graveyard, throw it away. Learn from your past. If you have done some mistake, learn from that. But don't live in past. And as far as future is concerned, what right you have to think about future? Future creates anxiety, tension, worry. So you should know that what is there in your hand is present tense. You should learn to be in present tense and do your job. Understand, every human should know that his life is moving smoothly. Child is born, child grows, little toddler, then little growth, still further, young age, senior age, old age, and then death, and again birth. Death and birth is natural phenomenon. You don't have to grieve about it. And what is happening here? Your body is going through this whole process. Your mind is going through this whole process, not your soul. Soul, nobody can do anything. Soul is always going to be there. You cannot kill soul. You cannot do anything with soul. Soul is permanent. What is not permanent is this human body. And human body is made up of Prakriti. All this Prakriti, 5 elements of Prakriti, Panch Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Any living creature is made up of these 5 Mahabhutas, that is Prakriti. Prakriti does its job. A child becomes bigger. You are not doing anything about it. Prakriti is doing everything. Where do you have a control? No control over it. Our life is totally living. We are living because of this Prakriti. All the changes are occurring because of Prakriti. Change is constant. Change is going to be there. You can't remain the same. If you think that I want to remain young only, I don't want to get old, not possible. Change is there. But why do we take old age as negative? Every age has its own beauty. Prakriti shows its own colors, flavors, beauty all the time. But change is going to be there. Understand that when you go through some trouble, remember that this too shall pass. This also will change. It can't remain the same. Never get bothered about any situation. You should know that this is going to change, so why get affected by it? Have this understanding. This wisdom is very much required always, because in life, ups and downs are bound to come. Very strong shloka is there in Bhagwad Gita. Sukhe dukhe samo bhutva. In happiness and in pain, you maintain your balance. Don't get ruffled. Labha labho jaya jayo. Success and failure, you maintain your balance. Remain in present and maintain your balance. Because any situation is going to change. Remember this. And live life accordingly. Biggest pain also, you know it's going to change, so why get so much disturbed about it? And then Bhagwad Gita talks that when Prakriti is doing everything, who are you to say that I am doing everything? Very strong shloka is there in Bhagwad Gita which says that it's a Vimudha Atma. We are so stupid that we think we are the doer. Karta aham iti manyate Vimudha Atma. Bhagwad Gita says that never ever think that I am doing something. Who is I? You have nothing in your hand. Nothing. You think that anyone, your son, your daughter, your position, your situation, whatever you have earned in life, it is there in your hand? Or you have created them, you have made them? No. They all are born according to their own karmas. They are going to live accordingly. Nobody is yours. You are alone. You are born alone. You will be living alone. You will be dying alone. Again, you will be born according to your karmas. Keep this in mind. And don't try to either suffer because of others or get so much excited because of others. Situations just happen. And so accept this Prakriti's game. This is called Maya, Leela. All the time Prakriti is dancing, showing this or that color, this season, that season, hot, cold, everything is going on. Just see, enjoy, but don't say that this is good and that is bad. Everything is required. That's why it is there. Everything is required. Heat is required, cold is required, rains are required, everything is required. And Prakriti has its own chain of functioning. It's going to function. Remember, when you were born, what did you have with you? Empty-handed? Nothing. You are not born with any possession. All that which you have now, you have got it from this Prakriti, this place. If you have lost something, it is going to go back into the same way. You had nothing, empty-handed. So you are born empty, you will be dying empty. When you die, you don't carry forward anything with you. Remember that. So don't live life in such a way that you have to collect things, and it's going to be gone. When your body is gone, things are gone, it's going to go away. We have to see that we have to function in present tense. And so our emotions don't allow us to remain in present tense. We go through this sattva, rajas and tapas. These are three characters of Prakriti. Sometimes you are in a sattvic state, sometimes action state, rajasic, sometimes in a dull state. You should understand. And accordingly, eat, accordingly sleep, according to work, do everything accordingly. You will be doing it. Things are not in your hand. So keep all this in mind. Very strong and very popular shlok of Bhagwad Gita is there. That is, Krodhat bhavati sammohat smruti vibhrama, smruti bhramshat buddhi nashat vinashyati. Understand that if our emotions are not in our control, we won't be able to live properly. We won't be able to be in the present tense properly. So try and see that you maintain your balance. In Bhagavad Gita, the word is used is sthita prajna, a person who is balanced state. Let anything happen. Let there be storm, let there be anything, but you maintain your balance. So you have to do your jobs. And that wisdom has to come in you. Always become aware about everything. Arjuna is telling Krishna that, Krishna, my mind is so much busy thinking about so many things. Mind is never steady. How could I become steady? And Krishna says, come on, sit straight, cross your legs, close your eyes, and just watch your breath. When you came, breath was there. When you die, breath goes away and so you die. Breath is there with you. When a child is born, heart starts beating till heart stops when the death occurs. So be in contact with yourself. So watch your breath and sit quietly. So in Bhagwad Gita, it is strongly mentioned to meditate, sitting quietly, keeping spine straight, head straight, and stopping to unnecessarily think. No action. When actions are there, wisdom doesn't come. Stop doing your action. That's the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is talking about how to do action also. But for knowledge, Bhagavad Gita is telling to stop all the actions. Entire this Prakriti game, stop. Be quiet. Don't think of anything. It should be blank run, and that is meditation. Meditation is not something where you have to put an effort. No effort. Just be quiet. You don't have to do any action, so you don't have to think. So be quiet. Learn and practice this. So all of us should learn these things and see that we are handling our life. See that we live in our present tense, because that is the only thing in our hand. And so don't waste your time. Live in present and move ahead in life. Flow with situation. Accept Prakriti's game. Enjoy every moment, Prakriti, and don't get affected by it. Be peaceful. Always remain in happy, peaceful, blissful state. Wish you all the best. Namaskar.
We are so grateful to Dr. Hansaji for explaining how knowledge helps us to overcome fear and the importance of maintaining our balance, living in the present without regret of the past or anxiousness of the future. She also clearly laid out a framework aligning Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga or actions, and Bhakti Yoga, that is faith and acceptance. Our next speaker is Dr. Atul Pednekar, who will tell us about practical karma yoga in modern life. Dr. Atul is the founding director of Yoga Psychology Foundation, working towards the importance of yoga for mental health. In addition to being a homeopathic physician, he has authored 2 books. Firstly, It's All in the Mind, on principles of psychology and counseling, and Integral Chakra Psychology, elaborating behavior patterns and emotional difficulties. If anyone has any questions, please type them into the chat box, and Dr. Atul shall be happy to answer them at the end of his presentation. Namaste, Dr. Ji.
Thank you, Ashish. Okay, so first of all, I thank Ramesh ji, Sangeeta ji for inviting me over here on a very, very auspicious day. And very important topic also. So slightly, in a sense, different things. I would prefer to use the PowerPoint. So in a sense, first of all, I will be speaking on the psychological perspective with the practical applications for a householder. So when we think in terms of Gita, there are various aspects of Gita, as Hansama also just mentioned. It is bhakti also, it's knowledge also, it's karma also, lots of things. And therefore, in a sense, I can get lost into certain things, and I need to finally find a way for myself as a householder also. That is what we will try to understand. So before I begin, I like to give an example. So normally when we think in terms of Bhagwad Gita, one shloka which comes very strongly for all of us is regarding expectations. When we say karmanyavadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana, Do your acts, do your duties, but do not remain attached to the results. So that is something which comes very commonly. And then I had one experience when I was at the Yoga Institute. I was teaching the students, teacher trainees. And then once I was taking the topic of arthritis. And then one of the students who came, she happened to sort of, after the class came up again and asked me, Sir, I'm having arthritis. Can you please tell me what to do? And I told her, I've already explained that in the class. What else would you want to know? So I'm doing all the asanas, it's not helping me. So I said, okay, then you need to just understand yourself. You need to do a Swadhyay process. You need to ask certain questions to yourself. And she asked me, what is Swadhyaya about? She said, no, you need to understand what are your sensitivities, expectations. Is there any stress that you could be going through? And once you understand that, you need to work on yourself. So what does it mean to work on yourself? You need to change something about yourself, I said. And the moment I said, you have to change something about myself, suddenly that student reacted, no, I don't want to do this. And that surprised me. I said, what happened? Why it's so bad? What's so wrong about it? So, no, I don't want to change anything. I have changed a lot. I've dropped a lot about myself. So when we think of the word expectations, or when we hear somebody telling us, drop your expectations, what do we understand as that? Are we, in a way, giving up everything about ourselves? What am I supposed to give up? What am I supposed to hold on? That is something we will try to understand today. Okay? So, in a sense, when we think in terms of Bhagwad Gita, lots of things come up. Now, the book that I have referred and that I've studied in detail is I don't know how many of you have heard about it, but I believe most of you must have heard, Indians would have heard about Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He was one of the freedom fighters, initial freedom fighters. And when he was put in jail, over there he wrote a book called Srimad Bhagwad Gita, Rahasya. Okay? And he focused on the concept of Karma Yoga Shastra. So if we look at Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 aspects to it. Because it is coming from a divine head called Krishna, technically there is an amount of devotion or a bhakti towards that Godhead. Then along with that, we know that it is speaking something about the concept of karma and karma yoga. Therefore, it is also speaking in terms of yoga. And then along with that, it is also telling us our dharma, my duties. So, in a sense, we need to find a link between these 4 terms. For the moment, as I said, I will be taking the route of karma and try to explain the different things. So, when we understand the word karma, and it is called karma yoga, so we also need to understand the word yoga. So, as we all know, the word yoga comes from the word yuj in Sanskrit, which means yoking, or it means a kind of a union. And normally, when we hear about yoga, we think in terms of the union of myself with the higher reality. And that is a part of the spiritual yoga, or what we understand as the bhakti yoga. But is that the only path? Can there be other paths? We are using spirituality, but we are not all completely on the spiritual path because we are householders. So as a householder, my journey is mainly towards a personal worldly goals. I am a householder, so I live in a society. I have to function in a society. I cannot give up everything. I have to work in consonance with my personal worldly goals. Both journeys are goals only, whether it is a spiritual journey or a householder journey. Both have our goals, and the important part is both goals, in a sense, is seen as a responsibility. So, for a spiritual person, the spiritual path becomes a responsibility. For the householder, the personal worldly goals, they become a responsibility. I am a husband, I have a responsibility towards my family. I am a wife, I have a responsibility. I am a boss in my office. I have a responsibility towards my co-workers. So technically, whichever goal you are following, there will always be a sense of responsibility. And that responsibility is seen as a duty, and the duty is my dharma. The point over here is everybody has different dharmas. It need not always be the same for everybody. And that is where, in a sense, when we read a particular text, there can be confusions. Bhagwad Gita was written from the perspective of a dharma yuddha between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So it is of fighting a war. Now, are we reading only as that, or we are also trying to understand the context of the shlokas with our daily life also, and to what extent that is something again we'll try to see. With every duty, there are related expectations. Following the dharma is also an expectation. Fulfilling my responsibilities as a husband, as a wife, as a child, completing my studies, these are also expectations. So let us understand we cannot, as householders, completely cut off from our expectations. So how do we draw that line? Is it possible for me to draw some lines between these different expectations? Okay. So for the moment, as I said, we are householders, and therefore I will not speak from a spiritual perspective. I will speak from a psychological perspective. I do not mean to say the spiritual perspective is wrong. I am saying, in a sense, right now, if I'm working through my mind, then I need to understand my problems, my expectations from the perspective of my mind. Okay. So at a psychological level, it is usually very difficult for us to function without related justified expectations. So can I ask myself regarding what are my justified expectations? And is there any book that I come with which tells me what are my justified expectations? Unfortunately, no. So there is no book available in the world which tells me what are my expectations which are justified. Every book, every author will explain you in a different way. So if you read 10 books, you are going to get confused. I have to ask myself. Okay. Are expectations bad? No, not necessarily. Our expectations are our motivations for our actions. Without our expectations, we may lose our motivations towards our actions. Because I have a family, I have a duty towards my family, I feel motivated to do something for my family. If I drop that expectation, if I drop the concept of my family, I will not be able to function. I will not be able to fulfill my expectations with, or in a sense, my duties towards my family. So let us understand expectations are not necessarily bad. As humans, they work as our motivations, and they are therefore necessary. So now let us just take the different shlokas. There are three particular shlokas that I would like to focus on. First of all, Karmanye Vadikarasте, we all know that this is the most famous. Ma Phaleshu Kadachana, Ma Karma Phala Hetur Bhurma, Te. So you have the right to work. You have the right to put your action in a particular direction, but not to its fruits. Now, that is simple in a sense. So, when you are doing an action, there can be an expectation behind it that, okay, if I do this, I will get something. And if it is motivating you to do something, you can certainly do that. But the question is, after that, are the results in my hands? Absolutely no. So you can look at it from a spiritual perspective. We call it Ishwar Pranidhan, that there is a larger play, larger world. God could be willing something else. So you may see it as that. If you do not believe in God, even that's fine. You can look at it from a scientific perspective, that there are infinite factors affecting any situation, and therefore you cannot predict it. A simple example, in India, those staying in India, you might be knowing the weather department always gives a prediction about rain and it never works. Okay, so we take it as a joke, that's fine, but they always have a reason. Okay, there are innumerable factors which can affect a particular incidence, and the last moment, the results can change, the predictions can change. So that is a kind of what we call as uncertainty. There is an uncertainty about everything. Does it mean to say I'm not supposed to do anything? No, certainly. If you believe it is something important for you, you do that. At the back of your mind, you hold an expectation that something good will happen because of it. So do your action, but is it possible that I do not hold an expectation regarding the result? That's one thing. Okay. The second thing is another sutra which talks about the concept of what is yoga. So buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sakruta duskrute sukrita duskrute tasmad yogaya yujasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. What is yoga? It is the act of doing your work skillfully. The skill in action is considered yoga, the real yoga. But does it happen automatically? No. Buddhi yukto, through wisdom. So you have to ask questions. So it is not that you are not supposed to ask questions whenever you are doing something. So you are supposed to ask what is justified, what is not justified. Here also, in a sense, we might need some kind of a training also, or you can ask to people around you and then try to get an answer for yourself that whatever I'm doing, is it really justified or not justified? Is it really serving a purpose or not? And then if you feel justified about something, then again, are you supposed to hold an expectation about the result? If you just go line to line, if you are just trying to read the Bhagwad Gita, then you might feel, no, I'm not supposed to hold the expectation. But then now look at the different social leaders around you. Did they stand for a social cause? Did they fight for something that they believed was right? And did they fight for that expectation? So if you see the Dharma Yuddha also, technically there was a result that was expected, and then that was an expectation, and with that expectation, the war was fought. So it is not that every time you have to give up the expectation. If you feel that your expectation is justified, it is very, very important. You have the right to stand for it, even if you are stressed about it. Imagine the sleepless nights all the social leaders would have gone through to put us wherever we are here today. It need not be social leaders, it can also be the scientific people who have been working on different inventions. They tried to make our life easy and they went through sleepless nights, after which they created something. If they would have given up the expectation, then something wouldn't have been created for us. The common example I keep on giving, that in a sense, it could be in US, the United States of America, it could be the abolishment of slavery. In India, it could be the abolition of the caste system to some level. Still, it's functioning to some level. Everywhere it's still there. Or in South Africa, the apartheid that was happening. So there were leaders who fought for that. They held that expectation. And even if they experienced stress, they did not give up. Even if they were put in jail, whatever it is, they did not give up their goals. Okay. So stress may come, may not come. So the real leader, in a sense, would be able to maintain that state of balance, which will be explained in the third shloka, which goes on to say, Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sanga Tyakta Dhananjaya Siddhya Asiddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchchati. So this is something that we may try to achieve in our life. Even if you are able to achieve it to, let us say, 10%, it could be a great thing for us. Can I keep on focusing on my efforts? Results are not in my hands. And irrespective of the results, whether I succeed or I fail, if I am able to stay equanimous, that will be the yoga of the highest order. So let us not try to compare ourselves with anybody. Let us see wherever I am. Can I keep on working on myself? Can I keep on putting my efforts? Let me not give up my efforts. As a human being, I have my psychological limitations. I may experience stress, anxieties, it's okay. But is it possible that I do not give my efforts? At the same time, try to improve my state of balance as much as possible. Okay, so I stop my session over here. If there are any questions, I can take it.
Thank you, Dr. Atul.
Fine.
So many of us
Please.
think that the Bhagwad Gita is some distant philosophy. So I'm very glad that you were able to relate it to our worldly goals and responsibilities. I have a question, actually. You mentioned about expectations, duties in family relations or community relationships. So we live in a collective society. Avoidance of conflict is very common. We often suffer from fear of offending others, fear of looking like the troublemaker, and therefore we sacrifice more than we think is correct, leading to unhappiness or maybe unresolved issues. So how do we know when it's correct to speak up and when we should hold our tongue?
Okay, so again, in a sense, as I said, there are no perfect answers for that. So it would depend on two things. First of all, how much justified is it for me to change something? How much right do I feel about it that I need to speak up? Okay, so if I feel justified that what I feel right about, it needs to be spoken, then I need to speak about it. There is no universal parameter for that. So therefore, in a sense, as I said, it's a question I need to ask myself.
Right.
Whether I feel justified about that or not, that's one thing. Now, I may make a wrong choice, that's also fine. So for the moment, let us not pressurize ourselves from what is right or wrong. There is nothing called as right and wrong. For the moment, whatever I believe is right for me, let me have the courage of asking that. It's okay. Later on, I may realize it was a foolish question. That's also okay. Nothing wrong about that. Okay. So let us be in the present moment, as Hansaji was mentioning. My understanding can change from time to time. Okay. Second thing, in a sense, can I just go with the flow also a little bit? Can I be a bit patient? And if I doubt myself too much, then for the moment, I can just wait and listen to others if that gives me some clarity. And then maybe I can rephrase my question, I can drop my question, or I may stand with my question. So again, as I said, there is no perfect answer for that. It's a learning process.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ji. Thanks for explaining the concept of justified expectations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Namaste. Lastly,
I have one
sorry.
question I've jotted down. I mean, do you want me to take that or?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, Atulji, with the today's lifestyle of work and stress and how to maintain that balance, it's very like you can like once become a workaholic or once you can become a family man. How to have that whole balance of structure to have. how to have a balance in between to,
Okay.
it comes out easily to how to manage all this.
Sorry, Vanita, but technically the how is the last question.
How does
Okay? Because
okay.
I'll explain. In counseling, technically, the how is always the last question. Before that, it's like there are three steps in counseling. First step is exploration.
Right,
Okay? I need to explore myself. Or in a sense, in counseling, we can say I need to introspect on myself.
right,
Okay? Then the second step is understanding. I come to some understanding. Right or wrong is not the question. I come to some understanding. And only after that, the how comes. Action is the third step. And we make this mistake. In a sense, it's not about you. 99% of us, we just focus on how. And that's advising. If I were to tell you do this, technically it will be an advice. It may work for just 1%, rest of it may not relate with that. The answers are different for each one of you.
okay,
Okay? So each one of you needs to learn how to introspect on yourself, how to understand my question, first of all, my problems, and the answers will be different for each one of you. The concept of balance is different for each one of us. There is no perfect concept of balance, except in spirituality, which would say as, okay, liberation. That's one balance which is common to all. But otherwise, in a sense, the balances are absolutely relative. So my answer would not relate with you. Your answer will not relate with you.
got it.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, how does one find his own dharma if one has no idea? As I said again, how there is no how answer to that. You will have to, it's a questioning that we are not taught. So you need to learn to question yourself first. What are my goals in life? What should I be achieving, etc. The answer comes later on. We just first need to learn to, therefore I would not go into that part, the how part. Okay, fine.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Dr. Ji.
thank you very much.
Lastly, let's hear what the Gita has to say about Bhakti Yoga.
Srimad Bhagwad Gita, chapter the 12th, shlokas 13 to 20, translated from the original Sanskrit into English rhymed verse by Gurudev Sadhu Daswani. The blessed Lord said, "Who hateth none, from self is free, in pleasure pain has poised mind, and is compassionate and kind. My best beloved saint is he, who dedicateth unto me his mind and reason, is content, controlled, his life still in me blent. My best beloved saint is he, who harms no bird nor beast nor flea, and doth not feel disturbed here by any, and is freed of fear. My best beloved saint is he, who nothing wants, doth work for me, yet is from work detached, serene, well balanced, unperplexed and clean. My best beloved saint is he, who fixed in faith and love on me, doth dote on me, yet scorneth none, and fruits of labour all doth shun. My best beloved saint is he,
who is alike in pain and glee, in fame and shame, in cold and heat, to foe and friend in strength defeat. My best beloved saint is he, who bears blame, praise, is passion free, who homeless is and firm in mind, in silent love who life doth find. My best beloved saint is he. They who this nectar drink of me, and know the law that giveth life, and cling to faith away from strife, my best beloved saint is he. Om Tat Sat. Thus endeth chapter the 12th of the Bhagwad Gita, entitled Bhakti Yoga, or the Yoga of Devotion.
That was the audio message from our spiritual guru, Dada J.P. Vaswani. Our next speaker, Mr. K.P. Daswani, will further elaborate on Bhakti Yoga. Popularly known as KP, he is a successful businessman settled in Hong Kong since 1956 and has been conducting classes and discussions on the Bhagwad Gita in Hong Kong for many years. Additionally, he serves as a trustee of the Hong Kong Chinmaya Foundation. Welcome, Uncle KP.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashish. I must first thank dear Sangeet and Ramesh for organizing this beautiful event to celebrate Gita Jayanti. Gita, Bhagwad Gita, is the core scripture of the philosophy of India. In addition to Brahma Sutra and Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita stands tall for all the people. Millions of people have benefited by following the principles enunciated in the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm very privileged to share a few thoughts on this path of yoga, Bhakti Yoga. It's like a GSP, GPS, guiding the destination. The main thrust of this teaching are the three major highways. We have done brilliant exposition by Dr. Uttab and Dr. Hansaji, and I will talk about the definition, this devotion. First, the definition of devotion. Then, what was necessary to become a devotee. The third one, why devotion? What is the benefit? First, is very simple. The definition is very, very simple. We all know about love. Love does everything the lover for the beloved. It involves a lot of sacrifice, a lot of no complaints, no discussions, no arguments, total acceptance of the demand or the views of the beloved. Now, when this love is directed towards God, it is known as devotion. It's very simple. Devotion is nothing but love for God, where you accept everything that God wishes to do or wishes according to our scriptures, live that particular lifestyle, then you know you are a devotee accepted by the Lord. The question is, you may love God, but what if God does not love you? See, the most important thing is to get return love from God. And this is a what we just heard, Sadhu Vaswani's translation, shloka number 13 to 20. In the whole Gita, there is no parallel topic or verses, the practical aspect of our philosophy. What we have to do, I will, for lack of time, we will just talk about in depth about the values of chapter of shloka number 13, which is in Sanskrit. I will chant and then translate it and then talk about it a little bit. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitri kanuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankara sama dukkha dukha shami. And then, of course, up to the shlok 20, we will see. Now here, the word adveshta is sarvabhutana, no hatred for anyone. It's a tall order, very tall order. You have to live with no hatred in your heart for anyone. Sarvabhutana. And why so? Because the Upanishads have declared Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The creation is one family. In family, you love, you respect, you understand each other. There is a harmony. There is no ill will, no criticism, unnecessarily arguments are avoided. You see, it's something that, like one mystic said, you can't pluck a flower without shaking the trunk of the tree. That kind of integration of the human race is there. We all are interconnected with each other, and there is absolutely no justification for hating anyone. In Gita itself, the Lord later on says, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hirdeshe arjuna tishtati. The Lord abides in every heart. So when you hate someone, what do you think you are doing? Are you trying to hate God? We do not really pay attention on this point, but this word adveshta sarva bhutanam is very important, and it is really up to us to start practicing this discipline from this moment onward. Then we are followed by Maitri and Karuna, friendship and compassion. Compassion is a natural heart thing over in our heart for everyone, no matter how stubborn or difficult person you may be. But when it comes to see people suffering, your heart really gives compassion to help. We chanted a prayer for this particular fire. The whole Hong Kong people have risen up to serve and help in whatever way possible. Compassion is a natural way, but we have to do it consciously for the Lord to love us. Because He says now, Maitri Karuna Evacha, Nirmamo Nirahankaraha. That is another most powerful discipline necessary. Ahankara, we all know, ego. Is there, like the Ravana, my way or hit the highway. So you have to be very, very compromising and respecting other people's views. Nirmamo, this I mentality, I can do this, I can do that. That has to be totally curbed. Everything is done by the Lord. Very neat. Nicely in the 11th chapter, the Lord says, O Arjuna, you are just a nimit matra, an instrument in the hands of nature, in my hands. You cannot do anything on your own. It's not possible. I breathe, you breathe, every world is breathing. That unity you must feel, I must feel, that we are one big family, all trying to live and help and serve each other. So that nirmamo nirahankara, sama dukha sukha, this is regular. Throughout the other next five shlokas, you will find these pairs of these dualities, pain and pleasure, cold and heat, praise and censure, or things like this all along. With more than 30 values are there. That according to the law of karma, already your dukkha and your sukha is fixed. Good, good, bad, bad, none can escape the law. If you have done good deeds, you shall be rewarded. Good things will come to you. If you have done mean and bad and evil things, naturally suffering and pain will be there. So there you have to transcend and be santusht, accept whatever is happening as you yourself have been the creator of that. So that equanimity, that equanimous behavior has to be cultivated. In this particular shloka, the last one is Shami. Shami is Shama, forgiveness. When we make a mistake, we just expect forgiveness from the party whom we have hurt or we have troubled. But when it is our turn to forgive other people who have probably hurt me and done something wrong, we hesitate. Forgiveness should be instant. Man makes mistakes. No one is 100% perfect. The very fact that we are born means we have done good things and we have done bad things. Mistakes have been there. Right? Then awareness is important that I am the pure Atman. This vibhuti of the Lord, and this mistakes do happen, and we have to forgive and forget if possible, not to remember even. So that way, and the next one is start with Santushta Satatam Yogi, and all the 30 values are there, which I would request you, plead with you to check out and make every attempt to really live those values. Because without living, the last shloka 20, the Lord says, Shraddhana mat parma, bhakta stetiva me priya. The Shraddha, faith. Without faith, nothing happens. This immortal set of teachings is to be with reverence in our heart, not superficially. With reverence in our heart, we must on a daily basis practice these virtues which are so important. And now, just quickly, why? Why devotion? What is the benefit? Chapter 9, Shloka 22, right? The Lord says, Ananyeva yanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya vijuktanam yoga shema vahamyaham. Yoga shema vahamyaham. The Lord here says, one who has lived these values later on in chapter 12, right? And always thinks of me regularly, 24/7, right? For him, I achieve what he hasn't got and protect whatever he has. These yoga, shema are very technical words in Sanskrit. I won't go deep into this one. But the Lord promises right away, without any reservation, hesitation, that once you have manmana bhava mad bhakta, when you have given me your mind, your intellect, then it is my responsibility to see that you are protected. We can see the life sketches of Saint Meera, Kabir, Sant Tulsidas, Surdas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These are all historical figures. And the prehistoric Puranic age, Dhruva and Prahlad, hundreds of stories are there giving this particular assurance to the man to really have faith in the Lord and do his bidding. This one, another one, very important one, then I will stop, is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami Ma Shucha. Surrender to me, the Lord says. Forget about your own actions on the body-mind level. When it says Sarva Dharman, that is also a very technical word, and a lot of explanation is required there. Then Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Braja, surrender to me. Aham Tva Sarva Pape. What a kind of assurance. Sarva Papebhyo, all your mistakes, all your sins shall be forgiven. Ma Shucha, don't worry. So with this, I shall end, and I hope and I pray for all the audience to really study Gita and be liberated. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Mr. KP Daswani. I really liked how you mentioned no hatred for anyone, because it's true. If you're focused on hatred, you'll be focused on what you dislike, and you'll be attracting what you dislike, or you'll be anxious and restless about those thoughts.
Yeah.
And also how you mentioned the importance of friendship, compassion, forgiveness, and above all, faith. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the question answer session right now, as we're short of time. We had a question earlier. How does one find his dharma if he has no idea what it is? And Dr. Atul could only very briefly answer it. And he started with, you have to sit and understand what are your goals in life. Could you please elaborate on that point?
Well, no, I really didn't follow the question fully, but see, the goals of life is dukkha nivrti, sukha prapti. This is from the Vedas. Dukkha nivrti, cessation, completely getting rid of sorrow in the life and attaining happiness. There is no other goal. You be a doctor, you be a scholar, you be an engineer, whatever, a businessman. Your final goal is there should be no suffering in my life and there should be happiness all the time. Now, with these two goals, you have to plan your strategies in life, because life means pain and pleasure. There is no two ways about it. The fact you are born, or when a child is born, you must know that he or she will have to go through, and then give him the knowledge of Gita and even maybe simpler things to accept everything that is happening, because we are the architects of our own destiny. There is no external factor. We have to understand I am responsible for whatever is happening to me.
Right. So decisions such as regarding career, life decisions, and family decisions, all of those are building blocks and steps towards the ultimate goal of happiness.
Towards, correct, very correct.
Thank you so much.
Any other question?
I had a question actually. I mean, many times when the topic of the Gita comes up, people talk about how to use its knowledge to address conflicts in your daily life. But is the Gita only, is it only the art of war, or does it contain any lessons of how to conduct ourselves in good and happy times?
When there are difficult times in one's life, the most, my own personal experience is, kneel down if you have a statue of God at your home, or you go to the temple and pray and seek guidance. because our intellect is fragmented, our mind is torn apart, and it cannot give us a solution. It cannot. So whatever there is, you just speak to the Lord. This is the beauty of Gita. The Gita is not given by a scholar or a saint or a sage or any intelligent person. It is given who the teacher, God Himself. It's a dialogue between God and man, right? And you kneel down, shed a tear, and say, God, help me, show me the way, right? His guidance comes. There is no question in anybody's life where God has failed him. There must be enough purity of the mind and humility to kneel down and shed a tear and seek guidance from the Lord directly, because this world cannot help you. No one can help you. And to this awakening of this particular point, because this is jnana, this is knowledge, real knowledge, that God alone is. 3 words. God alone is. Someone mentioned manifestation. We are manifestations of the Lord, right? We really don't exist. We manifest. Today we are there for the time being, and then one day the body will collapse and die, and we will disappear. So this manifestation is there and it will go away. These are known as various adjunct. All right. Prayer is the most powerful instrument in man's hands.
Mm-hmm. I see. And Uncle KP, if you could stitch together all the 3 branches of yoga that were mentioned before, jnana, karma, and bhakti yoga, and could you give us some example of how to apply each of these to different situations?
You see, there's one thing very most important to integrate all the 3 panels is seva. Seva, which is Sadhu Vaswani doing, serving the needy, serving the handicapped people and all that seva. And that is through the purity of mind. Purity of mind, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. These are the 6 impurities of the mind. So you have to make an Excel sheet on your computer, right? Write down lust, anger, greed, delusion, arrogance, jealousy. These 6, where do I stand with these 6 impurities of my mind? The purity of mind is to be gained. Without purity of mind, it's just like talking like we talk. We talk unnecessarily. We don't sit in silence and look within. Because while I was earlier talking about the goals of life, the main goal, apart from seeking happiness, is to know myself. What is my true identity? Is this body, mind, me, or these are just my endowments to function through? And I am the Bhagwad Gita, Shlok number 20, chapter 2. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचन नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने sharire. Right? Here there is the definition of who you are. Right? You are unborn, undying, shashwat, no change in you, no modification. Right? Once you know who you are, 99.9% problems are solved. Because of the body's own past, the body lingers, the mind lingers. But you are somewhere in a totally different dimension where you are yourself declaring, I am with God and God is with me. There are no 2 things. With all the humility, you announce to the world, I am with God and God is with me. So,
Thank you for highlighting the importance of knowing yourself. Unfortunately, our time is limited. Thank you once again, Mr. K.P. Daswani.
Yes,
Hari Om.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
We shall conclude today's session with a short video about the Life Management Yoga Center. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you will follow LMYCHK on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for our future programs, regular classes, and yoga teachers training courses. Thank you so much, and good night.
Do we know how many breaths we take in a minute? Are you aware how our nadis work? How our energy centers work? How I may learn to tranquilize my mind using various mudras? What are Pancha Mahabhutas and Pancha Koshas? How practicing yoga may help resolve our health issues? Or have we any idea what causes our unhappiness, our sour relationships, our emotional outbursts, our irrational behaviors? These are just a few questions. The biggest question is it not all about us? About our lives? Beyond asanas, yoga is in fact a complete manual to understand how our body-mind complex works. Its benefits are enormous. Yoga can reduce our anxieties and depressions, crime rates, and even suicides. For the beginner, yoga is the science of life management. At the next level, the dualities and sufferings of the mind can be removed. And at the higher level, for the evolved, it is continuous effort towards soul emancipation. Whatever our goal, happiness, health, or success, yoga is by our side. Then why not to try and dig deeper, to know ourselves, to know how we function, and to know the purpose of our being human here in this world? The question we try to ignore. Now, let me introduce you to our center. In 1998, Sangeeta Ahuja did her teacher's training under the masters Dr. Jaidev and Dr. Hansaji Yogendra at the Institute, and started sharing her knowledge with a handful of lady friends at her residence first. Her husband, Ramesh, followed in the year 2000. Thus, the Life Management Yoga Center, non-commercial life school, now in its 25th year, is offshoot, and the first overseas branch of the Yoga Institute in the city of Hong Kong. Sri Yogendraji established the first organized yoga and research institute in the world. Now in its 104th year, the institute, known as the Yoga Institute, located in the bustling city of Mumbai, teaching yoga for householders. His son, the late Dr. Jaydeva, along with his wife, Dr. Hansaji, now the director of the Yoga Institute, introduced specialized techniques and attitudes training called bhawas from ancient text to overcome the restlessness of the mind and detox the psyche, which leads to mindful and balanced living. The Yoga Institute has received the Prime Minister's Award, and Dr. Hansaji currently chairs the Indian Yoga Association, the central yoga body of India. Following the tradition, as the name goes, Life Management Yoga Center is committed to teach yoga for complete life management beyond asanas. It offers teachers training courses, TTC, with the latest syllabus of the Yoga Institute, recognized by Ayush Ministry, Government of India and Yoga Alliance, USA. The teacher's training courses, which includes public speaking, is a masterpiece encompassing all physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual aspects of life, resulting into holistic growth, reducing anger and negative emotions, helping to be creative in handling situations, empowering to be confident and caring, not just in leading the yoga classes, but by being responsible and useful individuals, benefiting society at large. This training, which is unfortunately not available in our academic schools and universities. LMYC also offers these courses with Chinese translation. It is not just the talk. We invite you all to join and experience what we said. Be part of LMYC and realize your potentials. Be positive and peaceful. Thank you and namaste.
Namaste.